a championship, there will still be a tons of people on Flatbush waiting for the team. So the whole who's got bigger cojones between the Knicks and Nets is just not a worthy battle, especially when that team is playing like two rookies, two overpaid guys, and some more trash.
Their team is trash. Their rookies are trash. I look. This is the most ridiculous conversation ever, right? And in my football team, and I'm not talking about NFL football. I'm talking about Premier League European football. Is Manchester United. Manchester United is from the city of Manchester, and there's another team called Manchester City. Manchester City has won a couple of championships, a couple titles, and they have a very, very small, and Manchester United people like to say non-existent fan base. Manchester United hasn't won anything in 7 years, right? That is a wholly different thing than the Knicks. The Knicks are going on 8 years. Have gone 8 years with no playoffs. I think this is either the 8th or the ninth year if they don't make it this year, and they're not. The Knicks, for young kids, are synonymous with suck. And I don't, I have an 8-year-old who's been playing basketball since he was 4. It depends on what year it is. He goes back and forth on whether he loves basketball or not. Right now, he loves Naruto, and I'm gonna let him love Naruto. But every time I go to these camps that house these privileged kids in New York City, it's very different. Like my basketball camps were in the most ghetto places in New York. My son's basketball camps is at John Jay's gym with some of the richest kids in New York. So it's a different experience. It's a different time. It's a different thing. And I walked into that gym not this past summer, COVID, but the summer before when Kyrie first came to the Nets, and every single kid in that place had SpongeBob Kyrie's on.
Yeah.
And for my son, who's 8, the way he sees basketball isn't through the prism of Charles Oakley and Patrick Ewing. And even when he plays with those like classic teams on NBA 2K with Ewing and Oakley and these guys, he's like, has the Knicks always sucked? This is supposed to be their best team ever, and this team is slow and horrible. He's like, what is a John Starks? Right?
Yep.
So kids see basketball a different way than we did. Where if you're from New York, you root for your New York team, you root for your local team. That's what you do. Kids follow players now. Kids follow the guy they use on 2K, and that's all right. But I'm telling you that the last thing that matters to us, right? Because this is not a Manchester United versus Manchester City thing, because Manchester United has 20 championships. And I think they've done trebles, they've won like 11 straight or some crazy number like that. Ungodly amount of winning that makes that company, makes that team and their culture what they are. But the Knicks have ungodly amount of losing. They're an embarrassment. And if you think R.J. Barrett, Mitchell Robinson, and Obi Toppin and Quickly is taking you anywhere, you are a fool. So don't get into those arguments that, you could, whatever. It doesn't matter. You have to understand, Alan Hahn is a Knicks fan that has nowhere to go. He knows he's trash. He knows the team is trash. He knows the team is synonymous with trash. He has nowhere to go. I listen to him, because I get stuck in the car, taking the kids places, running errands with the wife, and if for whatever reason the Bluetooth is not working or my phone is dead or whatever it is, and I get stuck listening to terrestrial radio, I feel sad for Alan Hahn when he's trying to basically squeeze juice out of a lemon that he found in a garbage can.
Yep.
And there's no juice in it. There's nothing in it. You mean to tell me what I'm supposed to be excited is quickly? You mean to tell me Obi Toppin is supposed to be the next big thing? RJ Barrett is not going to be the third best player on a good team. He's basically Harrison Barnes and Wiggins if they had a baby. So looking at what I saw today, that's the last thing I'm worried about is those dudes. And so don't get yourself caught up with the Alan Hahn. I tell Alan Hahn blocked me a long time ago.
I know. I'm getting close to that. And he had some poor disses at me and Los, but it's all right.
I wish I could get him because you know what? I love giving the Knicks these bars. I love basically talking trash to them. I got a new person now that I'm going to talk trash to every single time, and I want them to wallow in their misery. I want them to bathe. I want them to bathe in the mire of their ineptitude. They hired a GM and his bagman to run the team. Basically, this illegal operation of funneling players to the Kentucky Wildcats and that dirty motherfucker that they call John Calipari. The whole thing of the Knicks stink. They practice in a Costco garage. I don't know if I want to fucking get tires or play ball when I see pictures of that atrocity in Purchase or wherever the hell in upstate New York they play. Somewhere above where you're from, Sam.
Way north of me.
I mean, it's embarrassing. They should be playing in the Empire State Building. They're the New York Knicks, and they're trash. They're trash from their head to their toe. A snake rots from its head. I mean, excuse me, a fish rots from its head, and the head of that fish is James Dolan, and it fucking smells horrible. So I'm going to take our little exclusive crew of Nets fans. I'm going to be happy we win this championship. And I can't wait for the pride of this city, of New York City, the greatest city in the world, to restore its basketball reputation through the Brooklyn Nets. And that's happening this year. So it may not be a championship. We may get to the finals, but a championship is coming for us. Our time is coming. We have the right team, the best organization. And more importantly, I've been meaning to say this, and this is the thing that really just sticks in the craw of Knicks fans, because they know they have to sit there and be the stormtroopers and the battle star that's rooting for Vader to win. They're on the wrong side of good and evil, and they're on the wrong side of history. Their owner refuses to even acknowledge what's happening with COVID because he's made this political alliance with Donald Trump. And meanwhile, the people at the Brooklyn Nets are honoring the essential workers and leaving our building to be used in protest, in civil unrest. They're aligning with the people. It brings me so much pride to be a Brooklyn Nets fan, and Joe Tsai, with if you could get past all the jingoistic China scare nonsense, Joe Tsai is a great owner for us, and he cares about people, and it's hard. Like in the Bible, it says it's easier to get a rich man through an eye of a needle. It's easy to get a camel through an eye of a needle than a rich man into heaven, and so most rich people are assholes just by human nature, not his particular nature. But I love it when rich people, especially multi-billionaires who have no reason, who has I don't give a fuck money, are caring and show empathy and show fraternity with their community, and that's what we get, and Nets fans should be proud of that. Fuck those Knicks. on to the rest of our show. So let's do our three things to get the hell up out of here.
Yep.
Who was the player that you feel had the most impact on the game? Who's the player that typified this game? Not the best player, because I think we both agree Kyrie was the best player today.
Yeah.
Who put their stamp on this game?
I think me and you were gonna have the same one. I thought your man JA was AKA Fro Man. I thought he was unbelievable, and he set the tone.
Yep, that is my guy for the night. It's not about. So again, Kyrie was the best player. He dominated this game. He humiliated them. And then in that third quarter, KD looking at his numbers probably was like, yo, I this can't stand. And, he had that 14-point outburst in the third quarter, doing Kevin Durant things.
Yeah.
But at that end there, when they were trying to get chippy and when they were being the dirty, Boston Celtics are the dirtiest team in the NBA, by the way. Like, they're dirty. Like,
yeah,
you could just take one look at Marcus Smart and see that he hasn't washed his face in many years.
Smart's tough to swallow.
Somebody needs to give that boy a few boxes of Proactive or some type of skincare treatment, because they're a dirty team. And I don't mind that they play that way. It's a winning way to play basketball. But to watch Jarrett Allen be a part of the things that took this game home, grabbing those rebounds, changing those shots. They couldn't hit from outside, so they had to come in. They were like, and that's why I always give Brad Stevens kudos. He's a good coach. All right, the outside shot's not working. Their perimeter defense is pretty good. That's something the Nets have been doing well in the last year or so. So Marcus Smart was like, all right, take it to the middle to Jarrett. And Steve Nash, not loving himself, not being prideful, not coaching from a spreadsheet, let Jarrett Allen finish the game, and he did not disappoint. It's not the box score. 21 minutes, 9 points, 11 rebounds. 11 rebounds in 21 minutes is excellent. And 1 assist. The 4 blocks were so impactful.
Yep.
Because those blocks are what their not inability to score at the end is why Brad Stevens hit the hurt feeling button, hit the reset button on the Sega, and started that game of 97 Live over again. I'm talking ancient history, but we all had some game that we liked that in college best. Jarrett Allen is my player that impacted the game or basically defined this game. Give me a stat that told you a lot about this game.
So my big one, because it's actually going to show why I found the Nets win even that much more impressive, is so even though they shot really well, they shot over 50% from three, which is like pretty insane, but they had 15 turnovers, and I thought generally they were like just pretty careless with the ball. And I thought the fact they still won by 28, even with that, it just goes to show the whole as we talked about earlier, the turning the gas on when you need to. To me, just says a lot. Just coming out flat, just looking, not getting a lot of loose balls early on. Even in the third and fourth quarter, I thought they still had a couple too many turnovers. But I mean, to win by 28 with 15 turnovers is pretty against a really good team. Is that's just tough.
Yeah, great point. You're my guys, Sam LaChow. That's an excellent point. I'll give you another one. Mine's is a little bit more petty. And I don't mean to be petty. I'm consistent in my takes. I look at a player, I see what they could do, and I look at how they affect the overall team. The resilience of the Nets to survive a player having one particular player. No one had lower than 4 +4, plus minus tonight. Besides